Chris Burkhardt here with you, getting you ready for Trailblazers versus Oklahoma City here at Moda Center. Last home game before getting back out on the road for a nice little trip. It's going to have them over on the East Coast having some fun. If you want to join the conversation with us, head over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can join the conversation there. Of course, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. The Blazers today will be taking on an Oklahoma City Thunder team that has not lost a game yet in this young NBA season. However, they have lost a couple players who will not be playing tonight, as the news for the injuries came out today. Chet Holmgren's going to be out. Alex Caruso is going to be out. Lou Dort is going to be out tonight. So they're going a little bit with their second best team in the NBA, because I only say that because the Oklahoma City Thunder, even without those guys, are still really good, and they still have SGA, and they're still an absolute behemoth. And the Blazers will be tested tonight, but you would hope that the Blazers just have a better showing than what they did against the Lakers a few nights ago. That game was ugly. It didn't feel very good. It was just meh. The Blazers came out just out of sorts, could not get in a rhythm, and then dropped a game to a Lakers team that didn't have Austin Reeves, that didn't have Luka Doncic, that didn't have LeBron James. And as I pointed out, between Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, that was 70 points right there. And the difference in those wins right now, I mean, Portland falls to 4-3. Los Angeles, they're 6-2. They're third in the West. Portland is at 8th right now at 4-3, and so now they get to take on OKC, who is 8-0, the only remaining undefeated team in the NBA. Going to be a test. It's absolutely going to be a test. It doesn't matter who you're playing and who they have on the floor. Again, no Chet Holmgren, no Lou Dort, no Alex Caruso. Those are good defenders, but it's still going to be a test because this is the defending champion. This is an undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder team. They are coached well. They play as a unit. Next man up works for them. So you're still going to have to come out and play your best basketball. Unlike what happened against the Los Angeles Lakers, again, the Blazers came out and they just looked blah, for lack of a better term. They struggled to just find any sense of continuity within the lineup. And I think a part of that is the fact that Blake Wesley was out and Matisse Thybulle was out. And those are two guys that have been massive off of the Trailblazers bench, giving you that spark that you need to continue to hold on to leads or stop the other team when you need it. Like Blake Wesley he's been great defensively, and Matisse Thybulle is an all-NBA level defender. So you lose those two guys, and now it's okay, who's going to fill those voids? Who's going to be our primary backup point guard? Who's going to be the defensive anchor off the bench? You're going to have to rely on guys like Chris Murray. You're going to have to see what you have in Ryan Rupert. You saw a little run out of Sidi Sissoko. So those guys have to step up. And Tiago Splitter still has to figure out what he has on that bench and in that starting lineup and how to balance things out a little bit to get the best out of this team moving forward with these unfortunate injuries. I mean, Scoot's going to still be out for a minimum a few weeks here. He may be checked up again at the end of November. That original timeline was like, 4 to 6 weeks? So we're like at the 4-week-ish mark. So it's going to take time for that. And then, of course, you have Matisse Thybulle being out is obviously huge because how good he's been defensively. So you just got to figure out what you have. I mean, Matisse ain't going to be back for another month and a half. Blake Wesley might be out for 10 weeks. So it is huge to figure out what team is going to come to the arena every single night so Coach Splitter can figure out what his rotations are in the long run. It's going to be incumbent on guys like Shaedon Sharpe and Jeremy Grant and a couple of these guys to step up a little bit. And Jeremy Grant has been great for the second unit, but what are you going to do with the ball in your hands? Shaedon Sharpe, need you to shoot a little better and maybe take that jump and just take over a little bit. It's not going to be a one guy off the bench. It's going to be the whole team type of thing. Now, let's look at that game that happened a few nights ago against the Lakers, a game that the Blazers definitely should not have lost. But the NBA is weird. Like, the Blazers can go and they can beat the full-strength Nuggets, and then next game go out and lose to the South Bay Lakers. The Lakers outscored the Blazers 123 to 115. The Blazers did outscore the Lakers 33-24 in the first quarter, but it was all downhill from there. The Blazers, looking at the box score here, the biggest lead for them was 13. Biggest lead for the Lakers was 14. The Blazers made more free throws. They had almost double the three-point attempts, but they only had the same amount of three-point makes. The Lakers box score, they were led by DeAndre Ayton, 29 points and 10 boards in a revenge game of sorts, his first game back in Portland since he was bought out and waived over the summer. Rui Hachimura had 28 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist, and 25 points from who's he? Nick Smith Jr., and I mean that absolutely respectfully because Nick Smith Jr. entered the game, and not a lot of Blazer fans knew who Nick Smith Jr. was. Came from Charlotte, still young, year 3 in this league. But he left, and everybody in Moda knew who Nick Smith was. A great game from him, 25 points. He was 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. Hit a couple of huge ones late that kind of iced it for the Lakers. On the Blazers side of things, Denny Avdia led the way with 33 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. He did have 5 turnovers. You would hope that he knocks those down a little bit, but unfortunately, it's just the way he plays. He likes to get out in space. He likes to run hard. He has a lot of those turnovers at the rim where he just, gets hit or thrown off balance and turns the ball over. I think he still needs to find a way to make that a little better, be more cautious when he's out there in space. Toumani Camara, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. 2 points and 4 rebounds from Donovan Clingan in 17 minutes. So a game like that you cannot afford. You have to come up big, especially when you're playing DA. I thought DC played better in LA. Didn't play better than DA in this one. Drew Holiday, he had just 8 points, 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. He did chip in 6 assists, though. And then Shaedon Sharpe, 23 points. Just 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. That's 1 of 13, Drew Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe combined. Jeremy Grant had 18 to lead the Blazers. And I talked about who's going to be the guy who comes off the bench and fills that void for the players that are hurt. Chris Murray played 22 minutes. Sidi Sissoko played 13 minutes. Caleb Love got a little bit of a run, playing 6 minutes. And then, of course, you do have Robert Williams getting back into game shape as the backup center spot. So you're not seeing a lot of Young Hansen right now. He was only playing about 5 minutes a game anyway, has been sent down and called back up to the remix a couple times, and people were trying to read into that, like, oh, he was sent down. I'm not shocked by that. Well, he was sent down over the weekend, but the Blazers didn't practice over the weekend, so it was more the formality. You got to send him down so he still gets a run, and then they sent him down yesterday. And the Blazers even said, no, he's been sent down to the remix with the intent to be called back up after practice day. And the Blazers didn't practice yesterday. So, again, it's just the formality of sending him down there, making sure he gets that conditioning, gets those full court runs, because those are very, very crucial for his development. And I would not be surprised if in the long run, as the G League season starts to get going, then maybe you see him down there getting a couple games in under his belt. And I'll tell you this much, if Young Hansen's getting a game in at the G League, Child Center is going to be lit. Like, that place is probably going to be sold out, and it's going to be loud, and Blazer fans should absolutely get down there as a chance to see him play. And granted, they should get down there as much as they can, get to a remix game, because those are pretty awesome in general. It's fun to get down there, get a cheap ticket, have some hand fruit, and enjoy some basketball. But no, the Blazers, regardless of who's in those rotations, they're going to have their work cut out tonight. You can look at it and go, okay, they don't have Caruso, they don't have Dort, they don't have Holmgren, but that's what you said when you looked at the lineup for the Lakers. And my keys to the game that day were just play your game, you'll be fine, you should win this game. Well, I learned my lesson. You can't do that. You got to come in and you got to just act like that team is full of stars and they need your A game and give it to them. Now, as I told Chad a second ago, like, oh, maybe the team wasn't ready for, Nick Smith Jr. He wasn't on their scouting report. Yeah, well, Nick Smith Jr. shouldn't have been ready for Toumani Camara and Drew Holiday's defense. The team just wasn't locked in. So against a team like Oklahoma City, you can't afford to do that. You have got to be locked in all the way, ready to go from the jump. Now, I would suspect to have a much better performance tonight. Even if you take the loss, this just feels like a game where that game against LA didn't taste good. Didn't sit right. and now you're in a position where you want to bounce back and show what Blazer basketball is all about. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to head down to the Coach's Corner here live from head coach Tiago Splitter. All right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Russell Westbrook was 22 years old, right? Like, he could do it. But for the average athlete, it's hard to go hard at 12 minutes or even more in a row, playing hard at every possession.
So is that something you've had to talk to the guys about? Because I imagine just with the general NBA player saying, well, I want to play my first 9 minutes, like, is that, what are those conversations like?
Yes. You sit down with them and you talk and listen, this is how we want to play. And of course, with the vets and the guys that have more minutes in the league, right? So you got to sit down with them. But we have a great team to do it, guys that understand, and so it goes from there.
And those conversations, to be clear, were like way early in the process, like kind of right when you got here, September and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you get much pushback from guys when you first brought that up to them?
Not really.
Thiago, how would you describe the challenge that OKC brings?
I mean, you're just talking about, they were champions last year. Very good team, played together, great defense, great offense, great pace. Just a lot of good things when you watch what they do. First unit, second unit, they all play with the same idea. They all make shots, intelligent players. So yeah, it's a big challenge. You're going to face right now possibly the best team in the NBA.
Thiago, how do you pick and choose, not necessarily how to change your identity, but in a game like against the Lakers, when the shots aren't falling, how can you kind of mitigate some of the math if the shots aren't falling, but you still want to be able to play within your identity? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you got to stick to it, right? Like, you cannot change the way you play every day. You got to be consistent to what you do. And sometimes, yeah, you're going to lose games, but you cannot overreact to everything that's happened every time, every possession. Everybody goes nuts if we do that. So you got to be careful, right? Like, when you change something in a team, you got to give them some time to just get used to what we do. If not, we're going to be overreacting every game, and I'm going to take guys out of the rotation, put guys in the rotation, and it's just crazy, right? So you just got to be careful to stick to your plan, even when stuff doesn't go well, like the last Lakers game, right? So just be patient and believe on your plan.
Is your defense set up to turn teams over? Is that an objective you have in being disruptive on the defensive end?
Yes, it's about pressure. It's about, having guys also with that skill of doing it, right? Like, it's not everybody that can do that, but like having players that have that skill, of course.
I guess just after looking at the Lakers film, you probably had a little more time to digest what happened there. Was anything else stuck out since we talked to you after the game?
Yeah, I think a little bit of, we were not in the right place. We were not as active as we wanted. Our activity defensively wasn't good. We didn't respect some players. You just gotta bring it every night. Like, we don't have the luxury of playing okay against anybody. You just gotta bring it every night, right? So I think that was a little bit the issue defensively. Offensively, I think we got good shots. We didn't make them, and those nights gonna happen. We just gotta, there's nights that you don't make shots, and that night was one of those.
Activity, do you mean like 94 feet activity or just half-court defense?
Not even 94 feet. It was like with set defense, set defense activity, and not being, using well the spaces and not protecting our paint with 5 guys sometimes. So we were too spread out sometimes, and just that type of thing that was wrong.
Thank you. Thanks, Thiago. Thanks, Thiago.
And there you hear from head coach Thiago Splitter, and I like what he's laying down there. You can't change your identity. You can't just play okay is another thing he said. Like you got to go out there and give it your all and be locked in and focused. And yeah, I like that. The brain's in the right spot, focus is in the right spot to make sure these guys are ready to go. And I think he knows that the team did not lock in against the Lakers. Now they could have locked in and still lost. This is the NBA. We've seen crazy things happen. But you just noticed that from the jump, the team just looked just a little lethargic, like almost looked like they just woken up from a nap. Oh yeah, we can walk through this one. They don't have all their guys, but it's the NBA. CJ Elby can go into Philadelphia and beat the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just always be locked in and play your game, and that was the hard part about that loss against the Lakers. Is like it just didn't feel like the Blazers played the game that we as fans had seen for the previous 6 games. So you would hope that tonight, win or lose, they just play that game that we're used to. Play that game that we have kind of hung our hat on and said, that's what the Blazers are going to look like this year. You know, how many times has Thiago Splitter said, like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to compete. We're going to compete. We're going to play hard. We're going to, it's not going to be easy for anybody. Well, the team did not compete in that game. So you got to fix that. You got to come out tonight, locked in, ready to go, and you got to compete. That sounds so stupid, but it's what you got to do. Because if you come out slow, an Oklahoma City team, even without the guys that aren't playing tonight, no Lou Dort, no Alex Caruso, no Chet Holmgren, they will still find a way to beat the brakes off you. There's a reason SGA is an MVP. That guy's absolutely phenomenal. He's going to make it hard. So you just got to be ready. You got to be locked in. And then I thought, Dave Decker made a great point when he was on with Chad today, talking about how this team, uses their defense to manufacture their shot attempts. And if a team that doesn't shoot well, like Portland does, they do not shoot the ball well, then they can try to make up for that lack of shooting percentage by getting more shots up. Right? If the team shoots 50% and makes 10, but they're playing a guy who shoots 40% and is taking 15 shots, that's a different math game right there. So if you're Portland, you just got to keep being aggressive. Let your defense lead to offense and just get to the rim, take your shots, and you just got to start making them too. On the nights where you're going 9 of 40 from beyond the arc like they did against the Lakers, maybe it's time to just get away from the 3-ball for a minute. Get the ball on the floor. Put the ball in Jeremy Grant's hand. Let him go ISO for a minute. Get the ball in Denny's hand. Let him go one-on-one. Because if the 3-ball ain't falling, and we've seen this play out this year already for the Trailblazers, this team will live and they will die by the deep ball. When it is not hitting, it is going to be a rough night for Portland. So you hope that tonight they shoot better than clear throat 22.5% from beyond the arc, which is what happened against the Lakers. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And, of course, you go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation over there as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to take a little deeper look at this Oklahoma City team and look at this road trip a little bit, because the Blazers hit the road for a long one here next week with some winnable games, and you hope they can take advantage of it. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. We'll return after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Here we go, Rip City fans. Let's fire it up on KUNP.
with you. And if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And, of course, you go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation there. Shout out to my wife and kids watching at home. Little mad at Dad because he's here tonight on his birthday watching the Blazers play. So give me a victory against OKC. I think that would be a pretty good birthday present, would it not? My daughter, bless her little heart, she wrote a list for me, friends. And it was things I like to do. But she's like, I made you this list, but it's not things my daughter likes to do. It's things Dad likes to do. Like, she wrote the list as if she were me. Number one on the list was go to the restroom. She put it a lot more elegant than that, though. She used a 4-letter word, starts with a P, and it ends with a P. Like, that's what Dad likes to do. And then there was a sleep, eat, sleep in, lay in bed. Like, I'm okay. Guess what? You know how the New Year's resolutions are a thing? Well, also, I think, like, new, like, year. Not like New Year's, but New Year, like a new year of me, new age resolution, okay? So I think the new age resolution for me starting today is let's stop being so lazy, because apparently my daughter just thinks that I lay in bed and sleep in, and I like to sleep. Guess we're going to need to fix that. Also, Mel and Sean, thank you very much for the birthday wishes in chat. But I just had to share that because my daughter, man, I don't know what she's going to grow up to be. She just turned 8. A week and a half ago. I don't know what she's going to grow up to be, but I do think a comedian could be in her future because she knows how to make me laugh till I cry. I will tell you that much. So I'm sure they're having some fun back at home, and I'll be home later. Don't worry. And again, hopefully Oklahoma City wins. Be a good birthday present. And the Blazers, they're going to have their work cut out for them. This is an Oklahoma City team that comes into the night, as we mentioned before, only team in the league who has yet to take a loss. So even if it is against a team that comes in a little shorthanded, it would be a very good feather in the cap to give OKC their first blemish in the loss column. Oklahoma City 8-0 on the season. 4-0 at home, 4-0 on the road. They're averaging 122.6 points per game. The Blazers, despite all their offensive woes, still averaging 120.3. Now, let's look at this team, though, because this team will beat you. It's very interesting because Oklahoma City offensively, they're a good team. And remember when Denver came in, I told you guys that's a number one scoring offense, a number one in field goal percentage. Denver still is. She, my wife threw me off. She said, my daughter grinned. She heard that story. So I love you, Brooklyn. Now, Denver came into that game. They were the number one scoring team in the NBA. They still are at 125 points per game. They're number 5 is Oklahoma City at 122.6. And again, funny enough, despite the fact that we talk about their offensive woes and their tough shooting eyes, Portland is top 10 in offense right now at 120.3 points per game. Oklahoma City, just like Portland, though, brings it on the defensive end. And that's what won them a championship. That's what they built their name on. And you look at the steals leaders in the NBA. Portland leads the league in steals right now at 12.1 per game. Oklahoma City right there behind them at number 2 at 10.9. So even if you don't have, your full complement of guys, you've still built a philosophy as a team that is going to make teams work on the offensive side of the ball. Oklahoma City is going to force Portland into situations where they turn that ball over. Like a guy like Denny Avdia who can get out in space but turns the ball over. He's averaging like 4.2 or something like that when I looked it up the other day. He's going to have a night where he has to take great care of the basketball because a team like Oklahoma City is going to take advantage anytime you make a mistake with it. Just like Portland's going to take advantage if you make a mistake with it on the other end. So if you are Portland, you definitely need to take advantage of Chet Holmgren not being in, Lou Dort not being in, who defensively is an absolute menace. That guy can point guard through centers and not give up an inch. Like he might on paper, that guy's got 6 inches on him. He does not play smaller than anyone he guards. He is just so big and so talented. And then you got Alex Caruso, who's made his entire career defensively as well. Those guys aren't playing, so take advantage of it. Maybe there's a little bit of a weakness there that you can exploit. And again, offensively, Oklahoma City's going to find ways to score, so you just got to be locked in on the defensive end. If you're not locked in, you come out like you did against the Lakers, they'll find a way to just absolutely get by you. And you can't afford that at all. You can't afford that. And Portland, again, if you don't have your full complement of guys, but you still have built on a philosophy and you play like that. The Lakers are number 1 in the league in field goal percentage. The Nuggets are number 2 right now in the league in field goal percentage. Another team that Portland lost to, Minnesota, they are number 6 in field goal percentage. The Clippers, number 12. So a lot of good offensive teams that Portland's faced. And the defenses still look good. So lock it in again tonight against another good defensive team. The win will go a long way and, getting you where you want to go in the long run. Right now, Portland's sitting at 8th at 4-3, 3.5 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. And again, it's just 8 games in, but grab wins when you can. All right, let's take a look at the NBA scoreboard real quick. Plenty of games going on around the association. Not all of them have tipped off, though. First off, with 9:48 left in the third quarter, the Cavaliers have a slim 74-72 lead over the Philadelphia 76ers. Donovan Mitchell leading the way for Cleveland with 21 points. The Utah Jazz, who had the unfortunate news today that Walker Kessler will be out for the season, needing to have surgery on an injured labrum in his left shoulder. They trail the Pistons 69-61. Duran with 20 points and 15 rebounds for Detroit. Zvi Mikhailuk with 20 points for Utah. 9:31 left in the third in Indiana. The Pacers 65, the Nets 60. The Nets looking for their first win. They are the opposite of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They do not have a number other than that big goose egg in the win column, and they would hope to change that tonight. They just scored, make it a 3-point game, 9:20 left. Michael Porter has 26 points and 8 boards for Brooklyn. A minute and 40 left in the first half. Boston 62, Washington 57. Jaylen Brown lead the way with 22 points. Just about to wrap up the first half. They got a tie ball game, 54-54 between the Knicks and the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle, the two guys who are traded for each other, have 10 points and 14 points respectively. And the only other game playing right now, Houston 34, Memphis 22 with 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Rest of the games on the docket tonight. Miami at Denver, San Antonio at the Lakers, Golden State at Sacramento, and, of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Portland Trailblazers. Now, I want to talk about this Blazer team for a second because there was a lot of conversation today that I had with some Blazer fans and online about what this team is missing. Okay, and is it a guard? Is it a shooter? Is it a backup center? Is it this? Is it that? And I argue that the things this team is missing are currently on its bench. This team needs a primary ball handler in that second unit to get, to spell Drew Holiday. Denny's done a good job, but that's not Denny's strength. His strength is getting out in motion, getting out in space, not setting up the half-court offense. Because right now the half-court offense is lacking from Portland. Now you had Blake Wesley, but again, he wasn't a really set up the offense and be the quarterback type guy. But Scoot Henderson can be, and he's on the bench. Another guy who can do that is Damian Lillard, and he's not going to play all year long. So you're missing a key component there. Another thing this team is missing right now is shooting. Well, you have one of the best in the league not playing this year in Damian Lillard. And, I got in the argument. They're like, well, Damian's not really a shooter because he doesn't play off ball. And, okay, but he plays with the ball in his hand. He creates his own shot. He has a gravity that very, very few players in this league have. There is zero chance that by him getting healthy next year that the offense is not better. He will improve the offense by being there. And then, big man depth, well, you got Robert Williams. He's played 2 games now, getting back into his game shape. As long as he stays healthy, you got that. So my point is, does the team still need to make moves in the long run? The answer is absolutely they do. They still need a guy that can consistently shoot the basketball. Doesn't have to be an all-world defender, but someone they can trust to make shots. Maybe some depth at that center position because you don't know what the health you have of Robert Williams is going to be, and it's clear that Young Hansen is a project, and it's going to take time to progress to where they want him to be an actual contributor to the rotation. But my point is that I wouldn't make any rash decisions just because, you lost a game to the Lakers. and things have had their ups and downs already this season. As I said, the Elevator Operator was a song I put on the playlist on the What podcast, because just like an elevator goes up and it goes down, this season's going to have its ups and downs. What I wouldn't do is make a trade just because, okay, we really need that guy to handle the ball for our second unit, so we're going to make a trade, we're going to bring this guy in. It has to fit the long-term picture, because if you really look at this team, they're built to be healthy, and they're really built more for next year than this year. Now, this year, the goal is obviously play in and all that, but next year's the year that you get to add Damian Lillard to the lineup. And Damian Lillard, if he comes in as a shell of his former self, he's still good. Because Damian Lillard, even not as an all-star, has, again, gravity, the ability to change the offense, and people got to respect that shot of his. That changes how things run. And then not to mention, he absolutely excels in the half-court game, the pick and roll. And so that's one thing that the Blazers are really lacking right now, is a really good half-court offense. And I think you can integrate him without completely changing what you're doing defensively. You can still bring the pressure, you can still push the tempo, but when you need to slow it down, you have the ability to do that without hurting yourself. Now, we know that Dame isn't an all-world defender, but if you put him next to Drew Holiday and Toumani Camara and a healthy Matisse Thybulle at the same time, or Denny Avdija, what have you, you make up for those deficiencies, and you'll be just fine. And Sahar in the chat says, guys, hear me out. Denny in this game, 30, 10, and 6. That would be a game. That would be one heck of a game. And if he locks in, he can get it done. We've seen it before. We've seen Denny have those absolutely phenomenal games. He just has to be locked in and ready to go. And if you need him to do it, tonight would be a great night. It would be a great night because, as we've mentioned, even without the guys, Caruso and Dort and Holmgren, this is an Oklahoma City team that is tough with a capital T. Nothing will come easy against them, so you got to be locked in. So if Denny wants to drop a 30, 10, and 6 double-double, sign me up. Absolutely sign me up. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to hit you with our keys to the game. What do the Blazers have to do to get an upset victory over the undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder? We'll let you know when we return from this break here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Hey, what's going on, Portland? Chad doing here with my good friend Colin Amos.
His keys to the game. Broadcasting live from the Coors Light Studios. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Welcome back in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. And time now for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to win this ball game? Well, key one is not something that shows up in the stat sheet of the box score, but you can take a key and you can twist it and you can lock in. Right? And that's what the Blazers need to do. They absolutely need to lock in this game. That game against LA was brutal. It was brutal because it was not the Blazer brand of basketball that we had been accustomed to seeing early in this season, where the defense was tenacious, the offense was running super fast. Just everything felt like it was just misfiring a little bit in that game. So if you're the Blazers, just come in and lock in, and it will make a difference in this ball game. And I know these are keys to a victory, but at the same time, if you come in locked in and ready to go and you play your brand of basketball, then if you do happen to lose to the defending champions, an undefeated Oklahoma City team, it doesn't feel as sour as that Laker game felt. And I'll reiterate that you haven't had that game where you show up in the gym and you just don't show up at all. Because at least the Laker game, like, you showed up, you were just out of sorts. We all remember Utah, Memphis, Golden State last year, where Portland didn't even show up into the gym. There was a group of men on the court wearing Trailblazers jerseys, but it wasn't the Trailblazers. That hasn't happened yet this year. They've showed up. Things just were misfiring against LA. So lock in. Don't misfire. Play the brand of basketball that we've seen for 6 of the previous 7 games. And don't make anything easy for Oklahoma City. SGA is going to get out there, make him work. He doesn't have Chet next to him. There's no Lou Dort. Make those guys earn it. And if they earn it, you tip your hat to them. But make sure you work. Secondly, you got to hit your shots. The Blazers have been pretty bad in that end. I mean, they shot 49.4% against the Lakers, and you're like, oh, you might look at that and go, oh, Burke, what are you talking about? That's a pretty good percentage. Yeah, they shot 9 of 40 from beyond the arc. 9 of 40 from beyond the arc. That is not a recipe for success by any stretch of the imagination. They have got to be locked in. And if the shot is not falling from beyond the arc, well, then you know what? Move on from it. Move on from it. Go to find something else that does work. You take away the shots that they took and made from three-point range, then they shot 33 of 45 on the rest of their shots. That's 73%. Okay, so you are finding real good success on these other shots. You are not finding success with the three-point shot, yet you just keep going to the three-point shot. If it is not falling, deviate. Find a different route. It is not worth it to go take 40 shots and only make 9 of them. On the other side of that, the Lakers only made 9, but they only took 23. That's 39%, a big difference, meaning most of their shots that they were taking were in that 2-point range, and they weren't shooting at the same percentage to which Portland was. So make your shots. Be smart. If the three-point shot ain't working, deviate, find a new path, and just focus on what is working. Reset a little bit. That's where we talk about the half court and needing that, and that's where missing Scoot and Dame is unfortunate at this point, because you don't have that guy outside of Drew Holiday who works well in the half court. But if you need to reset, do it, and maybe you end up finding that guy. I would love to see Toumani Camara get the ball in his hands and maybe be a little bit of a point forward. Maybe you throw Roops in there and let him try. Just mix it up if you need to, but get that half court set working and reset it when you need to. Those are my 2 keys. Outside of that, again, I just want to see Blazer basketball. That's why the Laker game felt so bad, because it just didn't feel like the brand that we've been used to seeing, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Give us something to cheer about. We take losses, and we're like, oh man, but look how they're playing is good. Just give us something to cheer about tonight. Play a good game against a very, very good team. But I will go back to on my soapbox here though, about how the one thing I don't like about tonight is you have the second night of a back-to-back for Oklahoma City, and what happens? They're going to rest players. Oh, to Alex Caruso and Lou Dort. Oh, Chet Holmgren dealing with a low back. We're going to sit them. I mean, Alex Caruso literally out for rest. If teams are going to start approaching it that way and the back-to-backs are now always going to be the rest games because you don't want to risk it, get rid of them. Just get rid of the back-to-backs. Maybe dump this. I mean, I'm a purist, but even I'm like, okay, get rid of the 82 games, go to 70, eliminate the back-to-backs, and just let these guys play these games. Because if you're a Blazer fan and you've come to the last 2 games and you do not get to see Chet Holmgren, you do not get to see Lou Dort, you do not get to see Luka Doncic, you do not get to see Austin Reeves, that is frustrating. That is annoying. As a fan of basketball, you want to see the best play. And you're not seeing the best play when the best are on the sideline watching. I want to see them on the floor. If this is going to be an epidemic, we might as well just get rid of the back-to-backs. Because they aren't helping me. They're killing the product a little bit. Oh, you beat Oklahoma City, yeah, with their stars out. Oh, you beat the Lakers, with their stars out. Of course, we didn't beat the Lakers. Couldn't get by them. But I still want to see the best play. I don't like that. I don't like sitting all the time. All right, it is time to get out of here. Time to go get some pregame food. Let me get energized and locked in for the game. But don't go anywhere, because coming up next across the Trailblazers audio network, Chad Doing will have the Trailblazers pregame show. And then 7 o'clock tip-off, Thunder Blazers. My man, Travis Demers, on the call. And, of course, after the game, lock it in right back here for the 5th quarter, where hopefully we're talking about a birthday boy victory. That means the Trailblazers won for me and my young rear end. 21 today, I know. Can't believe it. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.